Hey there and welcome back to the Kobi Simmat audio experience. I hope you enjoy this episode. We are going to be talking about the 10 points that I've come up with to help you check off whether your business idea is a good one and whether it's got any legs and whether you could maybe scale that into be a business for the future. So hope you enjoyed this episode. Stay tuned. Okay, let's get straight into it. Quick game's a good game. We've got 10, I guess it's a checklist of 10 items that you can think about to try to validate whether that business idea that you have got has got any legs. So tip number one or topic number one is, does it fill a gap in a market? Does it fill a gap in the market? So the idea fills an untapped market by offering a product or service that's not currently available. So one thing I was actually thinking about this morning, dropped our dog off at the groomer, and I was thinking, actually, we've got this dog that needs this constant grooming. It needs to go to the groomer and get clipped because it doesn't molt hair, which is great for our house. There's no allergies, but there's going to consistently be an opportunity in the market, I think, closer to where we live, because I had to drive a fair distance to drop the dog at the poodle parlor or the pampering parlor for the pampered pooch. There's a gap in the market near where I live. A lot of people are getting, this quite popular brand of cavoodle or poodle, because they don't molt and they're good for allergies. They're great with kids. They're soft, they're fluffy, and there's a gap in the market. So does your idea fill an untapped market, and does it offer a product or service that's not currently available? Number two, it innovates. Is your product or service or your idea innovative? The idea should solve a problem or meet a need in a way that's better than available market alternatives. So is your product or service an alternative or a substitute? So alternative being it's similar and it's kind of a little bit different to someone else. So competitive, is it a substitute? So the iPhone has become the substitute for a digital camera. You don't need to carry a telephone and a camera. You can carry all of these great smartphones. You don't need to carry a TV set. You don't need to carry a computer. You don't need to carry a calculator. So the iPhone's become a substitute for those devices and has disrupted those industries. So when we talk about, I'm an entrepreneur and I want to be in a disruptor status, disruptor in lay terms is it's an alternative. It's a substitute. So if you're just adding more, if you're adding more features to your product, you're a substitute. If you're doing something you're an alternative. If you're adding more features to your product, you're an alternative. If you are completely changing and your product's different and it maybe merges two previous purchases of one of your customers together, then you're an alternative. So you want to think about that is, how is it innovative? Number three, challenges existing alternatives. So the idea offers a new, better way of doing things and challenges existing approaches. And version 2 and version 3 and version 4 and version 5 of your product or service, it's going to have to innovate as your buyers become more sophisticated. So as your buyers become more educated about your product, and you don't need to educate them on the product because it's not brand new to the market, then you're going to have to continue to add features, second version, so version 2, version 3. Again, using iPhones as a case study, we're up to iPhone 12 now from iPhone 3. I've been using iPhone since the iPhone 3. So it's, is it challenging existing alternatives and differentiate? So that's the differentiation. Does it stand out? The new product or service will stand out from existing ones by being clearly better or different in some way. Now, we talk lots about features, and when we're talking about selling and doing sales and sales selling and those kinds of things, I like to focus on the benefits, the goals that my customers have. What's the goal my customers got? What's the benefit that they're looking for? What's the benefit of the product? Not what the features are, what's the benefit? The benefit to us of the poodle that we have in our house is that, we get the love and attention of this lovely little dog without the negative side of people that have got allergies being affected by the hair molting and having dog hair all over the house. So it's standing out. It stands out as a good type of dog for our family and a good type of dog for, my son and my wife, and it helps them a lot. So something about your product or service needs to stand out and help your customer more efficiently get the benefit that they're looking for. Help your customer achieve the goals that they're looking for. Tip number 5, or point number 5, I want you to think about is how does your product focus on meeting your customers' expectations? So if your customer's educated and you're going into the marketplace, the product or service offered will be provided at a level of quality expected by the customer. So it's not you, and you've probably heard me say this before, don't be a focus group of one. Actually talk to people who are handing you money for your product. We spend too much time pontificating over our great idea instead of asking the person that's going to hand us $50 or $100 or $50,000 for our product or service. They're the people that set their expectations. They're the people that decide what the quality is. So try not to be a focus group of one. Talk to real people that have got real money in their hand and they're handing over their hard-earned money to you to help you. So they're exchanging their money that they've earned, worked really hard to earn. They're exchanging that because the thing that they want is more valuable than the money. And that's this value exchange we talk about. High value products is because the thing that they want is more valuable than their money. So the goal that they have is more important than the money that they have. If the money's more important to them, they're never going to give it to you for your product or service. So that thing that you've got is more valuable than $50 or $100, depending on your big or small price of your product or service. Okay. Offers good value. Number 6, product or service will benefit the customer in some way and create a sense of money well spent. We just touched on that. It's got to be good value. So it's got to be worth more than the money. So it offers good value. Number 7, has a purpose. The idea, the concept that you've got will give customers a sense of pleasure or having helped on an important cause or their goal. And you've got to focus on that. What's the purpose? What's the benefit? What's the goal that you help your customer with? Point number 8, harnesses your strengths. The idea builds on your skills, your experience, your market knowledge, any contacts in your industry that you've got, any long-term parts to your career. There's some statistics out there that you're 50% more likely to succeed with your business idea if you're over the age of 40. Why is that? Because you've got more experience, you've got more life experience. So if you're a young entrepreneur, it's something to think about. Can you have people around you mentoring you that have got more experience, more patience? I'm not saying don't start it, but I'm saying that you are more likely to be successful. 50%, in fact, more likely to be successful if you're over the age of 40 because you've got more life experience, more career experience, more patience potentially. So if you're under 40, then it's important to be getting some good mentors around you. There's plenty of good books to read, but some good mentors around you because they might be able to help you make some costly mistakes. Not help you make some costly mistakes, apologize for that, to avoid some costly mistakes. Okay, point number 9, it's in a growing market. 46% of the reason why Apple was successful because it was in a trending market. They weren't the first to the market with smartphones, for example. BlackBerry were out there way before iPhone, but where's BlackBerry now? Just about dead. A lot of people don't even know what BlackBerry is, but they led the way. They were like the global standard. When Twitter was launched, everybody had a BlackBerry. So it's something that I want you to consider is that it's in a growing market. The idea serves an expanding market with sufficient potential demand for a sustained period. I've got a lot of experience working in a stagnated, plateaued market. It's tough. It's really tough to try to grow a business. All you really got opportunity to do is take market share or pick up any new market. So you're more likely to be successful if your product is just at the front of a trend or is on trend or in a trending, popular, growing marketplace. And the last one, and this is probably the most important one, is that it can be scaled up. The product or service can be delivered at an increasing scale without costs growing at the same rate. So scaling a business is all about selling more, and as you sell more, the economy of scale, so the cost of your goods sold comes down because you're purchasing bigger and bigger numbers of your raw materials or your basis. So things like online training and online selling and e-commerce are really successful at scaling because there's less cost per unit. So that the overhead costs of the business are minimized as the business has more sales because you're doing online selling. You don't need to set up 10 bricks and mortar locations to sell what you're going to sell because you're selling online. So you've got one shop and that shop just can do more and more and more sales. So something to consider that you can scale up. So I think in my view, the two most important points out of my top 10 here, if I've said to focus on 2, it would be make sure your product or idea serves an expanding market, so it's in a growing market and it can be scaled. So they were my top 10 tips. I'll quickly go over them again for you. Fills a gap in the market. It innovates. It challenges existing alternatives. It stands out. It meets customer expectations. It offers great value. It has a purpose and helps customers achieve their goal, brings them benefits. 8, harnesses your strengths. 9 is in a growing market. And 10 can be scaled up. We're trying to shorten our podcast here at the Kobi Simmat Audio Experience. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, I'd love for you to check out and follow my LinkedIn account at Kobi Simmat on LinkedIn. If you need help growing or scaling your business or working on strategy, working through these tips and tricks, you can reach out to me with a direct message on LinkedIn or a direct message on Instagram. And I'm more than happy to message backwards and forwards with you to help you with your small little challenge. We are going to be releasing a blueprint, a business best practice business growth blueprint. So look out for a link to that on my Instagram account. So if you aren't following me on Instagram, jump across on Instagram. You will be able to download that best practice business growth blueprint. I hope you can get that from our website, and I hope to have you with us in our audience right here next time on the Kobi Simmat Audio Experience. Bye for now.